We have been following one man's struggle to overcome his addiction to heroin. Each day in this country, 78 people die from an opioid-related overdose. So Jason Amaral is fighting for his life. Tonight, DeMarco Morgan and producer Jonathan Blakely continue their series In the Shadow of Death, Jason's Journey.
Real quick. Is this good enough, dude?
Your eyes open, you think about heroin. Nothing else. Nothing else. And any addict that's watching this will attest to that.
We met Jason Amaral on March 22nd, the day before he started rehab. He was roaming the city of Boston on a desperate hunt for drugs.
Yo, there's one crack right there. I'm going to go over there, okay? It's not how I want to live, but it's been 12 years and I keep going back to it, dude. It's not like what I want to keep doing.
That morning, we watched as he crushed and snorted pills from a toilet seat in City Hall, scored some drugs outside a restaurant around noon.
I just did some heroin and I was sick, and I just did a shot and I'm very, very high.
And by that evening, ended up at a friend's house, shooting up again.
It gets boring, it gets old, it gets tiring. For the past 4.5 years, it's been misery.
That night, Jason's best friend, Mike Duggan, a recovering addict 7 years clean, came to take him to rehab.
Life and death, like you will die if you don't get it this time.
Overdose daytime, bro.
Nobody wants you dead.
Good morning, Jason. How are you? We're so glad you're here.
We traveled to Mays Landing, New Jersey for the first stage of Jason's treatment at Recovery Centers of America, or RCA.
I smoke crack every day for the past 3 months. I honestly don't know how to live a normal life sober. I don't know how to deal with life.
Who would want a life like that? Like, after the footage you're seeing, who would want to live like that? But, it's not really what I want to do. It's just what I don't know, you could say the drug drives me to do, I guess. I don't know. Can you, stop the camera for a second?
Jason's first 24 hours of detox were a struggle. He just learned his brother, Andrew, who was also a heroin addict, couldn't find a bed for treatment.
You've taken everything from me.
His brother's struggles motivated him to beat his addiction.
I'm never going to overdose. My brother won't overdose. He's going to survive. He's going to get it this time.
And after 4 weeks of counseling, medication, and physical therapy,
well, it's been 28 days today.
He was one step closer to his goal.
I just feel a lot better than how I felt when I first got here and what I thought I was going to feel like in 14 to 21 days, you know what I mean?
After he finished up at RCA, Jason transitioned to a second program at Awakenings Lodge on Cape Cod. There, addicts live off-site from the main treatment center, so they can learn to live sober without constant supervision.
It's been a long day, right?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, man.
Jason was drug tested at least once a week and participated in more therapy.
If you were on top of the world, not a care, this is easy beans, I've got this, that would be worse.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
To accept the things we cannot change.
After 6 weeks, he graduated.
Keep coming. The work's been working. Thank you.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
It's been a minute.
I know. It's been a while.
4 months later, we caught up with Jason, who is now living with other recovering addicts in Mashpee, Massachusetts.
And you've been clean for how long?
It's been a little over 6 months.
Congratulations.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah, thank you.
Jason now has a full-time job at a restaurant. He's also advocating to get addicts like himself more help. He was recently invited to speak in front of Massachusetts lawmakers. Remember Jason's friend, Mike Duggan, the one who got him into rehab?
All right, man, love you. Keep your head up, all right?
He was the first person Jason thanked.
Proud of you, man.
We've been friends for a long time, and this isn't like the first opportunity that he's given me, and in the past I haven't been able to stay clean, and I'm just glad that he gave me another chance to do this.
Now, Jason is also getting another chance from RCA, the rehab center he entered earlier this year. They have offered him a job in their second chance program for addicts in early recovery. And Jason's brother Andrew is also off the streets. He's in treatment at an RCA facility in Maryland. Scott, there is hope tonight.
Great public service reporting. DeMarco Morgan, Jonathan Blakely, thank you so much. DeMarco has an extended interview with Jason as well as links to help and recovery. You can find them at cbsnews.com/heroin epidemic recovery works.
That one woman has died after a horrific crash that shut down part of West 56th Street for several hours this morning. This is Skycam footage of this crash that happened just after 6 near West 56th and Raceway Road. That's next to the Eagle Creek Golf Course. IMPD tell us that a blue Kia was heading east when it crossed the center line and collided head-on with a silver Ford traveling westbound. The other driver is in serious condition at St. Vincent Hospital this midday. Police say that driver will undergo a standard blood draw to see if he or she was intoxicated at the time.
Denver 7 breaking news.
We start with breaking news at 11. The victim from an overnight stabbing we've been telling you about all morning has died. Police say this is now a homicide investigation.
A man was stabbed around 9 o'clock last night on South Federal Boulevard. Still not clear why he was stabbed and no word on a possible.
We have some breaking news out of Aurora, where several people are without homes tonight. A fire was just put out. It was a nasty fire at a townhome complex. Take a look at this. Officials say 3 units were destroyed. The firefighters worked very quickly to rescue 3 dogs and made sure the flames didn't spread to more homes. Now, no animals, no people were hurt, and the cause is under investigation.
And some
road rage shooting death of a young mother from Independence. It was the suspect's getaway vehicle that police say got him caught, along with tips from his own father. As 41 Action News reporter Belinda Post has learned, officers actually arrested this man hundreds of miles away.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. In fact, 39-year-old Christopher Taylor was arrested on murder and armed criminal action charges in South Dakota. Tips from people nearby, as well as his own father, and of course, vehicle tracking is how they made the arrest. Police say that Taylor shot and killed 22-year-old Whitney Gray at 16th and Sterling, while her 2 kids and a teenager were in the car. Witnesses say that Taylor's SUV was closely following Gray's minivan. He almost caused a wreck, and then she threw a drink at his SUV. That's when she was shot in the chest. Taylor's father saw surveillance pictures of his son's SUV on the news and grew suspicious. He went to his home and saw things were gone, including an assault-style rifle, a handgun, and the SUV. Taylor didn't answer calls, and he didn't show up for work. A car dealership then helped police track the SUV to a hotel in Box Elder, South Dakota. His father describes Taylor as a loner and someone who is paranoid by the government. We also just got word that U.S. Marshals will be bringing Taylor back to Missouri to face those charges. Reporting live in Independence, Belinda Post, 41 Action News.
Some breaking news overnight. Police are investigating a rollover crash that left a car pinned up next to a building this morning.
2 Works for You reporter Ashley Holt is live near the corner of East 3rd Street and South Rockford Avenue with the details. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning, Daniel and Tanaya. Police still working to figure out how that car lost control before it ran into this building right behind me here this morning. Police say around 2:30 a.m. that car was heading westbound on East 3rd Street at a high speed. The car eventually went off the road and ended up on its side, pinned to the building. Police say there were 2 women and 1 man in the car. They're all expected to survive.
The 2 that were able to extract themselves had very minor injuries. But the 3rd individual that was transported had some pretty serious leg injuries, but he was conscious and talking to us when he was transported.
Officers say advanced traffic investigators will not take this case since none of the injuries are life-threatening. Police don't believe alcohol was a factor. Coming up in the next half hour, how those 3 people inside the car were able to survive. Reporting live in Midtown, Ashley Holt, 2 Works for You.
A former Tampa teacher is getting out of prison today. In 2010, Stephanie Ragusa pleaded guilty to having sex with 2 teenage students. A judge sentenced her to 10 years. Ragusa, who taught at Davidson Middle School, will be required to register now as a sex offender. She plans to live in Clearwater.